From Boston, Massachusetts, to Adelaide, Australia, and everywhere in between. Talking local and national sports and just about anything discussed in a tavern. Broadcasting from South Lyon, Michigan. Welcome to Easy Speak at Speakeasy 330 with your hosts, Rich and Tom.
What up, fellas?
What up? What up?
How you guys doing today? Divisional playoff Sunday, or Saturday, I should say. Divisional weekend.
Exciting.
Yeah. Whose dogs are those? Whose dog is that in the background?
That is
Mr. Clyde?
Max.
No, it ain't Clyde.
Touch it.
Who let the dogs out? Who?
So hold on, I'm having
wouldn't
a
you
problem.
know? Soon as we go live, the dogs start barking.
Oh yeah, that's
Let
Clyde's
the
in here.
dogs out.
Clyde's in here next to me and laying down after he got done shredding the couch while I was on.
Did you use all that Vagisil?
What's that?
Did you use all that Vagisil?
The Vagisil.
Yeah.
Are you talking to me? Hey, you know what's nice about this, Tom? I'll tell you what's nice about it. Ready? You ready for it? You ready?
Oh!
Hey! You start talking
Camera
shit,
one?
we'll just get rid of you.
Camera on?
We'll just
Camera
get
two.
rid of you.
Camera one?
So anyway, we'll bring JP back in. So we don't want to feel left out. What's up, JP? How you doing, bud? Long time
I'm
no
good,
see.
man. I'm ready for fucking Superwild car weekend is in the past. It's Saturday. It's divisional round. I'm pumped up. I'm ready to go. Ready to eat some chicken.
4 awesome games this weekend. I mean, each one of them should be, a good battle to the end, and I think we're up for a good treat. Another good weekend.
Yes.
Yeah,
Ready.
I'm pretty excited. I read the news that Derrick Henry is back. They said that last week during the off week, he tried to run at full speed and really wasn't having it. Still kind of tender. He's got a metal plate in his foot.
I heard he's looked great in practice.
Yeah, so this week, whatever, he came back and he looked really good. And they're expecting him to, be a heavy part of what they're doing and impact. So that's always good to see.
What about Cam Akers last week? My God.
6 months removed from an Achilles injury. That's impressive.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. And I think, to be honest with you, him being back last week, I think was definitely the key to the Rams.
Stafford only thrown the ball 17 times.
You know what? If you only got to throw the ball 17 times and you got two passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown from your quarterback,
yeah.
Right.
As much as us Lions fans, hate to see it or whatever, but he did what he had to do. So.
Yeah,
we got a lot of people. We got a lot of people in the comments already chiming in for their picks, and we got a Cincy, Pack, Chiefs, and Rams. So we'll get to that a little bit later with everybody on the stream.
Let's talk about dark horses real quick before we go into this, because I really, really, really would love to see Joe Burrow get there.
Well, I mean,
explain why you see that, JP.
I mean, it's just Joe Cool, man. Come on. I mean, the guy's awesome. He's got T. Higgins. He's got Jamar Chase. He's got the young guys.
Angle your camera to the right a little bit.
There we go.
There we go.
Hey.
Only want to see your biceps.
But, you got T. Higgins. You got Jamar Chase. You got the young guys. Everybody's under 23 years old.
They're a fun team.
You'd love to see it. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
They're a fun team to watch, and Burrow is just like cool as a cucumber out there. Nothing phases him, and then even his interviews after the game, he's
Joe Cool.
He's just calm and collected, and it's good for the NFL to have the next face. You got Stafford and Brady going up against each other, and then the next crew of faces of the NFL are in there now too. So it's exciting.
I got a hot take on that Bills Chiefs game, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
All right, we'll get to that.
Yeah,
I like your hot takes.
Hot takes.
So Derrick Henry coming back, that's going to be good. It's definitely going to be good. It's going to give Cincinnati a little bit of trouble on the defensive side of the ball. But however, I still think I'm with you, JP. I think Joe Burrow, he has it. I think with everybody that he's got surrounded him on the offensive side of the ball, I think they're going to get it done. On the defensive side of the ball, I figure if they can contain Derrick Henry, but still, granted,
unhealthy Derrick Henry.
He's been removed after week 8. He was out on week 8, right? And we talked before the show.
Been
Tom
out
and I
since
did.
Halloween.
Yeah. So in week 8, we talked prior to the show. In that 8 weeks, he had 937 rushing yards or some crazy stat like that.
Derrick Henry has been out that long, and he was still leading the league in rushing like 3 weeks after he was out. 4 weeks.
Yep.
I think the key in this game for Cincinnati is Henry's the type of back that seems to get better as the game goes on. So containing him early on, I don't see it being a big problem for Cincinnati. It's the fourth quarter. How much
Cincinnati's run stuffer is out. He's done.
Yeah. So which is tough. You're going to have to bring in, the linebackers to cover and you keep your safety up, which is really good for, throwing the ball. But you got to hope to contain him late fourth quarter when the game's on the line.
What is that, Rich?
Somebody posted. I don't know.
So that's to me, that's the key. If you can contain him in the fourth quarter. Now, what kind of game shape is he going to be in? He's been out since week 8. So is he going to be?
He'll be a gamer.
Be ready to play. He'll
be a gamer.
So yeah, it to me it comes down to Tannehill if he doesn't make any mistakes.
Well, it comes down to me for AJ Brown. Is he going to make plays? Is Julio going to make plays?
Well, Julio only had 1 touchdown in the regular season, so he's going to have to produce.
It's playoff time.
Right. So
got to grind it. Got to grind.
This is what you brought. This is what he came to Tennessee for. We'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they're the number 1 seed. So they're going to have to show something. I don't believe they're the best number 1 seed we've ever seen. I think they're somewhat fraudulent in a way that
but
they got lucky at the right time. But
I believe in Mike Vrabel.
Well, yeah, he pushes the right buttons, and
he's a great coach.
He's a coach of the year candidate, and they're going to have the home crowd, which is going to help them, and so. We'll see. To start the weekend
is always good.
Game, what's that?
Home cooking is always good.
It helps. It definitely helps.
Yeah. All right, so the next game we got Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills.
Hot takes, baby. Hot takes.
So I tell you right now, if Josh Allen plays like he played last week,
and he
it's
will,
it's going to be very hard for any team to stop him on their way to the Super Bowl.
Let me tell you something, Rich.
All right, let's hear it.
I got the Bills. And you want to know why? Devin Singletary, the run game, Allen throwing the ball 30 times a game. I love the Bills. And Willie Gay shouldn't be in the game, shouldn't be playing anyways. But, yeah, I got the Bills. I love the Bills in this game. I'm going to bet on the Bills. I'm going to put some money on it.
What's your hot take?
That's the Bills. That's my hot take.
That's your hot take? You put betting for the team that went into Kansas City earlier this year and Frog stopped them?
Yeah. To me.
That's my hot take. I'm taking the Bills.
Kansas City, they whooped on Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh, come on, guys. It was a participation trophy for them to be there. I think that the Bills are ready and poised. And they're going to get revenge from last year's playoff game. I love the Bills.
Hey, are you all right, JP?
No.
Okay. You're hiccuping a lot. You're hiccuping a lot.
I might have got drunk last night. I don't know.
Well, it sounds like you started off this morning with it, too. But I
drank a bottle of champagne when I got home. Oh, fuck.
So that's probably why you're all bubbly, huh?
Yeah, a little bubbly.
Okay. Yeah. So, You know, so let's, you know, I didn't submit picks. You know, Drew, who's normally on the show with us, started at the beginning of the year. Unfortunately, he couldn't be on today. He's got some
All
house
OGs
obligations
today.
that he's taking care of. We do have the OGs. JP hasn't been back in a while, so like I said, it was good to see you. So, you know, we got, you know, my pick for the one. I'm gonna take Cincinnati. I'm gonna take Cincinnati over Tennessee. And then for this next one, Kansas City and Buffalo, I'm with you, JP. I think Buffalo has it. I just think that I think they're going to be able to lock in
at Arrowhead.
Yes, I think they're going to be able to lock in and take care of business. Tom, who do you got?
I like Buffalo here. I think, you know, you look at last year, they're the way that game ended. Steph Diggs on the field, watching the celebration. I think a lot of players look at that and they use that as fuel. Buffalo has pretty much a complete team. You like their defense here. I think defensively they match up well against Kansas City, and they'll be able to hold Kelce back. And that's the key to this game, in my opinion. You got to contain Travis Kelce. Not many teams can do that. I think Buffalo has the safety presence in their defense to be able to do that. Point for point, I think we're looking at a high-scoring game here. So even offensively, they match up well.
Let me ask
Allen
you guys.
has the ability to run and throw. Go ahead.
Over under 57.5.
Under.
I'm going to go over by maybe a point or two. I think they're both going to get into the 30s.
Divisional games normally go under.
I like the over here. Because I just think it's going to be a shootout, and it's going to be a shootout early. And Buffalo last week, what they did to New England, it was impressive, and I think that momentum carries. And like you said, JP, I think this is their year. They have just enough combination of run and pass, and they have a quarterback who, to me, he's probably still underrated.
Right,
and Josh Allen, who, if anybody hasn't paid attention, I think they're going to pay attention after this game, and Buffalo's going to go in there. And
I think
quiet the.
Like you said, I think Travis Kelce is the key.
Yeah,
he's going to be the guy, you know what I mean? And then you go to Poyer and you go to the safeties for Buffalo, you know what I mean, that are going to be on him. Tyreek Hill's going to bust a big play out regardless, right?
Kelce is Mahomes' security blanket.
Right.
Whenever he needs a play, he always seems to find Kelce, and that starts with his ability to make plays with his legs, keep the play going. And not a lot of defenses can run with Kelce, and that's where I think Buffalo can. And they proved it earlier this year. They went into Arrowhead and absolutely dominated them.
I think I could run with Kelce.
The first 5 yards.
Bullshit.
You can trip them up within 5.
Shut up.
So I've got in the first game I have Tennessee winning. And in the second game I've got Buffalo.
You know what? I'm going to take Buffalo and I'm going to take Cincy. I'm going Cincy. Yeah. I'm going Joe Cool. I'm a Joe Burrow guy. I'm going Joe Cool.
You know, it was funny because I think you and I went back and forth, JP, after the interview or whatever. Sure, whistle? Not a whistle.
No. I hear no whistle. I'm telling you, this guy.
But however, his hands were up in the air, like, "Hey, what the hell are you blowing the whistle for?" Like,
right.
He heard the whistle.
No, he heard.
Well, rightfully so. I think that, you know, they bended the rules a little bit there, but they knew they fucked up because, you know, it was a touchdown.
And you know what though? They fucked up, and you know what it cost them? They won't be working a playoff game the rest of the year.
No, they're done. They're done. That's it. I think
Boger shouldn't have been doing that. He's ready to retire. And he shouldn't be doing playoff games anyways.
Right.
Why are you saying it? Because he's old?
Someone
call the EEOC, please. Call the EEOC.
He has been known
age discrimination.
Bungle a lot of plays. His crews.
Well, let's not get Jason Green in here because he'll tell you that play should have been blown dead, right?
Nope. He said what should have happened was it should have went back, no play, replay the down. Him and I had this conversation. Mm-hmm. And he's not the only reason why he even said that is because I texted him. I thought maybe he was watching the game, and he goes, "I wasn't watching it." But then he saw the replay. He goes, "No, that should have went back. There should have been a dead play. Replay the down." He called it an an inadvertent whistle is what they call it. So anyway, moving on to Sunday. Sunday we got two great games on Sunday. We got Tampa Bay. We got Tampa Bay and the LA Rams.
Sunday is the full entree.
There you go. Hey, that's a good way to think of it. But yeah, so we got the Bucs and the Rams. Everybody, Stafford got his first win. Yeah. It only took him 4 times. His fourth time's a charm, I guess, if you want to call it that. And he did it in spectacular fashion, like we were talking a little bit earlier. When you only have to rely on your quarterback to make 17 attempts,
right?
15 completions, right? Was it 15 completions?
17.
Or
17 attempts. No. 17 attempts. I think it was 14 to 17, something like that.
14 to 17.
Yeah.
Still, okay, so 3 incomplete passes. Whoop-de-doo. And he also surprised us at the goal line and stuffed one in. I mean, which we're not used to seeing that, but whatever. But, kind of like what we said is, if you don't have to rely on your quarterback to make a bunch of throws, I mean, when your run game is so strong. And I think, honestly, that was the difference between his success in LA and his time in Detroit. I think the run game obviously is better in LA. And I'm not going to say it's based off talent. I think it's more schematic based. I think they play to their strengths.
Well, you got Odell Beckham and you got Cooper Kupp.
Yeah. Also, you got guys
that just got drug tested.
Kupp did.
Yeah, Beckham did. Because he had 6 touchdowns in the last 9 games or something like that.
And Baker Mayfield said he was done, right?
Well, number one, Odell Beckham is a big diva, and he didn't want to be in Cleveland, so he wasn't giving his all, just like he wasn't doing it in New York. So he goes to LA, gets put right on a first place team, and lo and behold, he starts playing good football.
I would love to see Terry Sloan on this show and see what he thinks about Odell Beckham.
He'd tell you the same thing. He's a joke. He's a joke who only plays when he wants to play.
Well, he's a great player.
You don't think I'm not monitoring the comments right now to see Terry pop up, because he's probably typing a novel right now if you heard that.
Probably watching.
I watched him drop passes and not go 100% every week in Cleveland. That's why he didn't get the ball, because he wasn't trying.
Yeah.
All right, so we got Rams. I think the keys to the Rams winning the game would be you still got to dominate the run game. You still got to be able to take control of the ground game for sure, and then only rely on Stafford to only 20 passes max. If they get behind early, it might be a tough day for the Rams. I think if they can come out, get the first score, get some points on the board, get ahead of the game, I think that's gonna pay dividends in the end for them. So my pick is the Rams.
I think that Aaron Donald and Von Miller got to get after Brady, and the key here is Tristan Wirfs and it's Jensen. Are they going to play? They're both questionable right now, right?
Who'd you say?
Jensen's going to play.
Tristan
he came back
Wirfs
last week.
And Jensen are both all-pro offensive linemen. So
I think Wirfs is out.
Yeah,
I think they said he was out.
Well, so you got to keep him clean, right? And playoff Lenny's back this week. But come on, guys, we're not going to make a living going against Tom Brady. He always finds a way to do it. So in this game, Tampa Bay.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, like you said, JP, I think the key is if you got to keep Brady upright.
Their defense is people don't talk about Tampa's defense enough. You got Shaq Barrett, you got Pierre Paul. You know what I mean? You got Winfield in the back.
The problem with their defense right now is their secondary is depleted.
Devin White, you got Levante David. I mean,
this game is going to be low scoring in my opinion, and it's going to come down to mistakes. will Stafford be able to handle the pressure going up against, the greatest of all time?
Probably not.
So this is where, his run game, the run game really is key here for both teams. It sounds like Fournette's going to come back.
Yep.
Tampa Bay has the blueprint. It's what marched them into the Super Bowl last year, and they won based on defense. And to me, you got to pressure the hell out of Stafford, and he makes mistakes. And specifically the second half of the season, he made a lot of mistakes because he got a lot of pressure. So if they can bring the heat on Stafford, take Kupp out of the game, and keep Beckham, at bay, it could be a long day for the Rams. But yeah, I got Tampa Bay winning this.
It's also going to be a long day on that secondary to try to contain those two said guys. That's I got the Rams. So
no,
I'm talking about Tampa Bay.
Wake up,
Tampa Bay.
Rich, wake up.
I like Tampa here. Home game experience.
I've been with you the whole time, and now you're gonna my one pick that I go against you, and now we're not friends anymore. What the fuck, man?
It's Brady, man. Hey, I'm a Brady. I'm a Brady homer.
Hey, listen. The man has spoken on Facebook. The man, we asked for his opinion, and he gave it to us.
Terry Sloan, there he goes.
Great receiver, but a diva also. Baker should not have played most of the season with those injuries. Accuracy was terrible. Everybody, Terry has spoken.
Terry, with all due respect to you, sir, Baker is terrible.
Well, we'll see next year when he's healthy.
Yeah. Well,
he was playing on one arm and one leg.
I understand that angle that you're going there, sir.
All right. Hey, listen. Let's not talk about teams that are not in the playoffs right now. Let's keep moving. Are in the playoffs. So
straight line.
And then just so you guys know, Drew has picked the Rams as well. So
of course. he went to the LA game and came back a Rams fan. So
shit, he was wearing his Cooper Kupp jersey.
Drew might be the ultimate bandwagon fan that I've ever met in my life.
I think Drew is.
Oh, come on, guy. Hey, don't pick on the guy when he's not here to defend himself. So come on.
Well,
all right, so next game we got
he knows it.
So the next game we got here, we got Green Bay and San Francisco 49ers. Bosa has cleared concussion protocol.
Yep.
JP, what do you got in this game?
You want to know what? You got Bosa, you got Warner, both cleared to play. In Lambeau, it's going to be 15 degrees.
Yeah,
I'll take the pack.
I think it'll be a lot colder than that.
Give me the pack. I think it's the last ride. It's the last ride for Devontae Adams, the last ride for Aaron Rodgers. It's going to be too much for them, for San Francisco to handle.
Again, games come down to who makes mistakes. Rodgers doesn't make mistakes. He does not turn the ball over.
No.
Jimmy G last week almost cost him the game because he turned the ball over in the fourth quarter. With that being said, I think San Francisco matches up really well, specifically on the defensive side of the ball.
Yes.
And having Bosa on that end it is going to definitely make Aaron Rodgers very uneasy. And this is a game where you're going to have to really rely on.
Isn't Bakhtiari back?
Bakhtiari, it's not a given if he's going to play. He hasn't felt really good from what I've understood.
Well, if Bakhtiari's back, then you.
But that's the other side. They'll put Bosa. They'll flip Bosa back and forth.
Right.
Rodgers is going to be running around back there, and it's going to be a lot of quick plays, a lot of quick crossing plays, a lot of draws up the middle. But ultimately, Rodgers just doesn't make mistakes, and he wins at home in the cold. His record in games under 32 degrees is ridiculous. Yeah. And again, I agree with you. This is the last ride. I think he's got a chip on his shoulders, and he wants to prove that he is the best. And he's going to come out and they're going to get it done. Another low-scoring game, maybe a 24-17 final. So, but I like the pack here.
Hot take, but not hot. Devontae Adams won't be in Green Bay next year.
No.
I can't wait to see who he pairs up with. Maybe him and Russell Wilson will go somewhere together after Rodgers retires.
Well, Rodgers isn't retiring. He's going to Denver.
Okay.
All right.
Frank Gallagher.
So the last Frank Gallagher. So the last so you guys were asking about him. He's listed as questionable for tomorrow. They said that they said that he's practiced during the week this week, and Wednesday full practice. Thursday was more of a load management day. So, but they said that they list him as questionable against it. So I guess we probably, if he is a go, we won't know till Sunday.
Yeah.
And he ain't.
If he's Sunday around
if
10.
he's questionable, he's not going to be effective against Bosa anyway.
Yeah, they could be just saying that too. I mean, there's a lot of chess at play when it comes to the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah. So my pick for this, it is hard to go against Aaron Rodgers, and it is also hard to go against Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay in sub freezing temperatures.
Is it hard to go against Aaron Rodgers though? He's only won one Super Bowl.
Yeah, but still. However, Aaron Rodgers has not won the. He has not. He's like 0-3, I think, against the 49ers in playoffs.
Yeah. So. Well, we don't have Colin Kaepernick no more.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go against the grain here with you guys, and I know I'm gonna catch a bunch of shit for it.
San Fran.
I'm gonna take San Francisco in this game.
It's not a bad pick. It's not.
I honestly think their running game.
They're healthy.
Not a terrible pick, Rich.
Their running game is good. Debo gives you so much flexibility on the outside in the backfield.
One of my favorite players in the league.
And here's another thing.
Yep.
They're winning, and Kittle has been a non-factor the last probably month of the season because of Debo.
He's been a decoy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, that factors into the offense.
Maybe he was teaching Hawkinson that this year, maybe just to be a decoy.
How to disappear and get a big paycheck.
How to disappear, right.
So, yeah, I'm taking San Francisco on that one just because I think tomorrow is going to be Aaron Rodgers' last ride in Green Bay, and I think he's worn out his welcome in Green Bay.
Fair.
So
that's fair.
That's my hot take on it, JP.
Okay.
So we got some other news going on in the NFL. We're still waiting to hear what's going to happen in Los Angeles, or not Los Angeles, Las Vegas. Do they go after Harbaugh? Do they stay put? Because I heard today that Harbaugh has had an offer on his desk from the University of Michigan that was more incentive heavy of a contract, but he hit all the matrix and all the goals in that it would have made him the third highest paid coach in college football. But I hear he's also waiting to see what happens with what Vegas does. I think if Vegas offers him a spot, he's going to make that jump. However, the players in Las Vegas have really pulled.
They want Bisaccia.
They want Bisaccia to stay
around. Think Bisaccia, you got to go with the momentum. And with everything given that they went through this year with Ruggs and Gruden, you know what I mean? For him to lead them to the playoffs, I think you got to build off of momentum. And I don't think that Harbaugh is really respected in the NFL. I mean, he told Trent Baalke in San Francisco that this locker room is a place for men. I don't think that he's very respected in a lot of circles. I think he's coming back to Michigan. I think it's all smoke for his contract, personally.
Well,
he just hired Mike Elston from Notre Dame. He's on the road. You know what I mean? Recruiting.
He is recruiting.
A guinea pig, actually. That him coming to Michigan was a result of not getting the DC job at Notre Dame. So he pretty much left Notre Dame. But I did read on Twitter that a lot of people speculate that all this Harbaugh grumblings is leverage for him to get more money out of Michigan. And
it's all bullshit.
So it could go either way. Oakland, the Vegas Raiders are saying yeah, we'd be interested, but there hasn't been any kind of conversation. So I think it's just a battle of, who's going to talk. Will there be conversations? If they reach out to Harbaugh, I don't doubt that he'll listen. But for me, to get Michigan where they're at right now and then leave, I don't think it's good timing for him to go back to the NFL.
Apparently, he has a relationship with the Davis family.
The Davis family, yeah. He's really close.
If he goes there, he needs to cut his hair a bowl cut like Mark Davis.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Mark Davis looks like he's straight out of Star Trek. I mean,
but hey,
I'm gonna mute you, okay?
When you're a billionaire, you can wear your hair whatever the way you want.
Right. When you're billionaire.
All right. So then, with the coachings and stuff like that, interviews going on. Josh McCown has interviewed with the Texans.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's been coaching the high school ranks right now. But according to what they say that he is
he's the front runner.
Yeah, he's the front runner for that job.
They love him because his ability to control the quarterback room. They've reached out to other teams that he's played on, and he's played on a lot. And everyone said the same thing. He had control of the quarterback room. He was essentially a second coach on the field for a lot of those guys. And what does the one thing the Texans really need? They need quarterbacking to help them. They
need a quarterback.
Is Davis Mills their quarterback? I mean,
don't be surprised if they go with Watson this year. I mean, they're paying him like $30-something million to sit out.
I'll go with Watson all day.
You have to. You have to, and that's
the rules.
That's why you bring in a new coaching staff and you start fresh. And I think it's a no-brainer.
Absolutely, you got to.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Martindale, we'll call him Wink.
Yeah,
fired as the defensive coordinator with the Ravens.
That was a surprise.
Do you think he'll end up anywhere this year? Or
he's always on the list of coordinators that should get a look. I don't think he will, because a lot of teams are going more offensive-minded coaches. Because look at Denver, look at a lot of these other teams that went defensive. The Jets, they went defense, and it just doesn't pan out. So I think a lot of teams are.
Hey, hold on. The Jets won more games than the Lions did.
Well, that's not saying much, but most of these teams are going offensive, coordinator wise, and because that's the game. The game is speed, and I think they're looking at that aspect. So I think he'll get a job really quick. He'll get a job on one of these young coordinators, maybe in Jacksonville or something like that, who's going to beef up that defense. So I see him getting another DC job really, really quick.
I've seen that a lot of teams are interviewing Brian Daboll, the offensive coordinator for the Bills, who
will get a look at by the Giants because their GM now is the assistant GM in Buffalo. I do think that Daboll will probably be one of the top candidates.
I think Daboll is going to go to.
Hey, stop pointing at us, okay?
He's going to go to New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
It makes sense. And Danny Dimes.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
They're going to draft an offensive lineman and Dimes, and then you got Barkley, and Galladay will never do anything. He's my least favorite receiver in the league.
Right.
You got Shepard. So since we're talking about coordinators, as we all know, Anthony Lynn is out as the OC with Detroit.
Yeah.
What do you think that's going to do for Detroit? Do you think they're going to bring in an offensive coordinator, but still Dan Campbell is going to call the plays, or do you think that they're just going to roll with what they got?
It'll be a hire from within. It'll be Deuce Staley or the Johnson, the tight ends coach, who I guess Campbell basically really leaned on him once Lynn was out of the picture, and the players love him. So I think that's the smart pick. You hire within. But the bottom line is Campbell's going to be calling plays. I think as the season went on, he got better, and the team got a lot comfortable with him calling the plays. So I think there's no question whoever you hire within for that simple reason of knowing that you're not going to be calling plays as the OC.
Right.
And I don't think there are too many coordinators out there that would come here knowing that, the one thing you go to take a job is to call plays. That's not going to happen in this case. So in that regard, it'll be in-house hire, probably Johnson, and he's just going to be a coach in name for the most part with Campbell calling plays.
Guys, I don't think Campbell did a bad job calling the plays. But I think
at the end of the season.
The first couple weeks were rough, but as it went on, he made some good. He did just some old razzle dazzles.
Yeah, but I mean, look at the emergence of Amon-Ra St. Brown and his time calling plays.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's great value at a fourth round pick there. You know what I mean? But I mean, obviously, you got to hire an OC. I mean, you can't.
You can't manage it all.
Yeah.
Well, Detroit sports we'll talk about the Pistons a little bit. The Pistons are what they are. I mean,
right.
They don't have that veteran leadership that they need. They have some talent, but they don't have the leadership that they need. So, some of the speculation out there is the Lakers offered 2 players in the 2022 first round pick for Jeremy Grant. Should they hold out for? I mean, I think honestly, you need to go get like Ben Simmons or.
Well, did you hear the offer that Detroit threw for Ben Simmons?
I'm doing it.
It was Jeremy Grant. It was Sadiq Bey.
Do it.
And it was another player and 2 picks. And the Sixers said not interested. I'm not getting rid of Sadiq Bey.
I would.
No.
Not me.
No.
He can shoot. He can drive. He can score. He needs to work on his defense. But that's a player with Cade Cunningham. You can build off that. You can really build off that. And I'm not getting rid of a key piece of the young puzzle here to get a player that you got a guy who stopped shooting the ball at the second half of last season. He was so mentally off. He didn't want to shoot the ball.
I'm in the Ben Simmons camp. He can play all 5 positions.
Yeah.
He's an all-league defender.
But where's his head?
He's 24 years old. He's in a bad place. Yeah, we brought Rasheed Wallace here. Where was his head at? Yeah, we won an NBA title. So
Rasheed Wallace is a different caliber player than Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons is a different caliber player than Rasheed Wallace.
Yeah, I agree with you, JP. Ben Simmons can play every spot on the court and plays it well. He's a very versatile player that you could slot in. You can slot him in different scenarios.
Right.
He can play the PG. He can play the power forward. That opens up some flexibility for them to
Philly. Why do they not want him on the court? Because
Doc Rivers is an egotistical asshole, and he always has been.
Yeah. Did you hear his? Somebody asked him a question yesterday, and he flipped out. He's like, you wouldn't ask what the hell is his name from San Antonio? You wouldn't ask him that question. Why are you? I earned this. It's like,
speaking of flipping out,
pump the brakes, dude.
Speaking of flipping out, if you guys haven't heard Penny Hardaway's press conference from the other day, then listen to it. It's gold.
Is it really?
Oh, he went the fuck off on the media. And basically
I'm gonna try to pull it up.
Basically said, "Don't come at me, bro."
No, I think Philly's problem is they, a lot like the Lakers. They got a lot of talent. They got a lot of ego. They don't have the right coach.
Right.
And their GM is a disgrace as well. Daryl Morley, who got ran out of Houston, he's a big problem. And I think most teams, if given that offer, they're going to jump all over it. I think Morley's going to find out real quick that there isn't much of a market for Ben Simmons, or there would have been more offers, and he may not play in the league this year. But for me, you don't make that move as a Pistons. I think you're taking a step in the wrong direction.
Yeah, I think he'd be.
Here's another thing, JP. Rasheed Wallace, who was the coach? Who was the coach in Detroit? Larry Brown, one of the top 3 greatest coaches in the history of basketball. Dwayne Casey is not Larry Brown. He won't be able to contain Ben Simmons.
I think Dwayne Casey is undervalued. I think he will. You know what I mean? I think the guy wants to play. You know what I mean? And he's sat out the whole season. He needs a new start. I mean, you got Joel Embiid bashing you in the media.
Well, he needs out of Philly.
I mean?
He needs out of Philly, but they got to be willing to make offers that make sense.
And that's a tough Philadelphia market anyway. You know what I mean?
Especially the basketball team.
Yeah, it's up there. You know, with the Eagles and the Sixers. I mean, that's a tough market to play.
It's like a New York market. It's if you don't win out, those fans are gonna implode on you, and they do, and they've imploded on Simmons. He'll never play another game in Philly, and the smart move for both teams, for both parties, is for them to just move on from him, get rid of him.
Hey, I got the Penny Hardaway up here,
dude.
So I'm gonna play it right now.
Faith that you can get this done
at Memphis.
In the first half like that, when it's unfolding, is it embarrassing? And
I think the one thing I can say to this media, because this media gets kind of fucked up sometimes when it comes to me, we don't have our full roster. Y'all know we don't have our full roster. Stop asking me stupid fucking questions about if I feel like I can do something. If I had my roster like they did, then I feel like I can do whatever I want to do. I'm coaching really hard. My boys are playing really hard. I'm not embarrassed about nothing. We have 4 freshmen starting. Y'all need to act like it. Act like we got 17 to 18 and 19-year-olds out here trying to learn how to play against 22, 23, and 24-year-old guys. Come on, man. Stop disrespecting me, bro. Like, don't do that. I work too fucking hard. I work way too hard for that. Y'all write all these bullshit articles about me, and all I do is work. We got young kids on the floor. They got young kids on the floor.
I love it, and I think sports needs more coaches like him. Sports needs more coaches. The coach speak is bull to me. Let's hear what you have to say. Who cares if you're going to get fined or not? I think that's passion. I think players will react to that.
It's a PR move.
Yeah, exactly, and I love it. And coaches get caught up in the afraid to say the wrong thing. Tell me how you feel. And right. I think the kids want that too. I think hearing his reaction, his players are going to hit the court the next time they play. They're going to war for this guy, and I'm for it. I'm here for that. Absolutely.
Yeah. So we'll talk about the Red Wings. Do you think the Red Wings are going to be buyers or sellers at the deadline?
Buyers.
You think so?
I think they're going to hold back.
Who are you selling? I mean, you got what? Nedeljkovic, you got Raymond, you got Sider, who are all.
No, you're not. I mean? Here's the thing: is you're not going to sell. You're not going to sell those players, but if you can like unload it depends. Well, really, it depends if they're in the hunt for a playoff spot around that time. You can offload a stall, somebody looking for some depth at defense, and get more picks.
Grice.
I can see that possibly happening. Grice, you can move Grice and bring Pickard up. Last night they were up 4-3.
Minute to play.
Dallas pulls the goalie. Dallas scores a goal to tie it up. It's
that
overtime.
Game was nothing but bad bounces and bad breaks, both teams. And
yeah.
But no, to me, they stay pat. I think they've got their foundation to move forward. And Yzerman's doing what he needs to do. He's building his front office.
The eyes are playing.
Yeah, and so I think they're going to fall a little bit short this year from the playoffs. But they've made enough progress.
I think the future is very bright.
I mean, within a year, maybe 2, they're going to be contending, and with the right moves, I think some free agents are going to want to come here too. Bringing Lidstrom on board is almost like bringing the right recruiter in to build your team.
But I don't know. I don't know. I mean, yeah, he's the assistant to the general manager. I get that, but I don't think. I think from my perspective, I don't think he's going to be as involved, or he's going to be that guy. He's not. Players will come to an organization. I mean, I forgot who it was. It was like, yeah, why would you not want to play for Yzerman? And stuff like that. I get that, but a lot of these younger guys, they're going to look at, who's going to be the coach, who's going to be the guy who's going to be, leading the charge with the team. Me personally, I think this past season, we've actually surrounded Blashill with a lot of good prospects, a lot of good talent. I just have a hard time believing that the system that he has, that he's implementing and that he's working is just not, it's not working for the NHL style game. Yeah, they're a very young team, and he's been known to work great with younger players. And he's an accomplished, he's an accomplished coach. I mean, I'm not going to take that away from him. He won the Calder trophy in the AHL with the Griffins. He mentored a lot of those kids and stuff like that. So, he has a way with that. But you look at Vancouver this year. Vancouver fired their coach. They brought Bruce Burrow in, and I mean, they are, whatever he's doing is working because they've been winning games. Yeah. Another thing to talk about, let's talk about former Red Wings. Ken Holland has got to be on the hot seat in Edmonton right now, because Edmonton has you got the top 2 scorers in the league.
In the world,
and they got absolutely shellacked the other day, 6-1.
The best player in the fucking world.
They got McDavid and Draisaitl, mm-hmm. and they got Leon Draisaitl. Let's not forget him. That guy puts up mad points. Player. But they got absolutely shellacked, lost 6-1. Fans there were throwing jerseys on the ice because they were so upset. Earlier in the week, I tweeted out the media in Edmonton. I've followed Edmonton for years. And when I mean years, back from when I was a kid, I watched Edmonton. Yeah. Their media is very hard on their players. They will ask questions to their players that are there that they will not ask anybody in the front office. So Leon Draisaitl was asked, a question or whatever, like, what do you got to get better at? And he's like, everything. We need to get better at everything right now.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, can you, is there one specific thing? He's like, no.
Is that coaching?
He goes, no. And the guy's like, how come you're always pissy with me and everything like that? He's like, dude, I answer your quite and that's one of the things, like the media's boundaries when it comes to an interview. All the guy was looking for was a hot take that he can get him to say something,
clickbait,
twist a little bit and get the clicks online.
But doesn't this remind you of Ovechkin and with the Capitals? I mean, he couldn't get past that, for years. You know what I'm saying? And now
they brought in the right coach,
and he was best at the time. Ovechkin was the best player in the world. So then you look at Connor McDavid. You know what I mean? And it's kind of a similar situation.
Let's get Barry Trotz over there. Let's go.
Yeah.
He's not leaving.
But here's the problem though. Is Edmonton is such a small market team. Really, unless they are, a lot of those players are overpaid. I mean, but they have to overpay some of those players to keep them.
Well, it's like the Red Wings.
Still Canadian hockey.
Oh, I know.
You know
what? I tell you right now, and that is my bucket place to go see a game. Go to Edmonton and see a game at Rogers Center. That's a bucket list of mine.
Players aren't going to teams for
that in Winnipeg. Anymore. Those are my 2 bucket places.
Well, you got to figure Canadian hockey media is like equivalent to Alabama football. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like
that's all they have, really.
Yeah, that's all they got.
I mean, players aren't going to teams that have traditions anymore. They're not.
Yeah.
You see Vegas. You see Florida, you see Carolina, a lot of these teams where, they're not hockey hotbeds, but they're going there. And I mean, the game has changed, and it is tough when you see media attacking players, and players around the league notice that, and they're not going to go there.
No.
But I think Edmonton has a coaching problem. I think Ken Holland, toward the end of his reign in Detroit, he brought in a lot of bad contracts, and he benefited from having the right people around him.
Right.
And when they all left, Jimmy Delavano left, and
no, you have to think with Ken Holland, you got to understand, he was given a team. He was. Yeah. I mean, they handed him a Stanley Cup team on a platter. As soon as they had the lockout, they went to the salary cap. They had to make some decisions like that. In the salary cap era, he could not.
Well, he won the cup the first year, but then after that, it was over with.
Yeah, but that was the transition between having no salary cap to a salary cap. So he only had to buy out a couple players because they were still working. They gave him like a grace period to work through. Obviously, you still had the core of your team.
Yeah.
But then after that, it's just kind of been like a downward slide. And here's another thing that they've done is, my personal opinion, I'm actually really surprised, and this is more of a homage to what Yzerman's been doing. But you have to think of previous coaches and in previous general managers. You get a player. I tell you right now, if Ken Holland was still here and Mo Sider and Lucas Raymond were drafted by them,
they wouldn't be playing.
They would still be in Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yep.
Yzerman came out and played as a 19-year-old kid. Yzerman knows what it takes for those kids to play in the league at a young age like that. He sees that, and he puts them in.
What's the kid's name we got from Washington in the trade last year?
Oh, Verana.
Jacob Verana.
He'll be back. He'll be back toward the end of the season.
Yeah, he'll be back. He'll be back. I think in February. I think he's slated to come back.
So you start talking about Verana. You got
Jacob Verana,
Bertuzzi. You got Sider. You got Raymond. You got Nedeljkovic. I mean, there's a hell of a lot to build on. And probably the best team in Detroit right now.
Let's not hide the fact that Dylan Larkin has really evolved into his captaincy. He's having a career season, and he's playing with a different kind of swagger, and he's getting results. 19 goals this year, and he's had like 9 goals in the last I think it was 12 games. So he's making an impact for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have a concrete. I just looked it up. They don't have a concrete window on when Verana's going to be back. They're shooting for sometime in February. He is skating, but he has not been cleared by the doctors to do any shooting drills or anything like that. So, me personally, I think they still have him for 2 more years under contract. I'm not going to push. Granted, what they're doing right now, could they get a wild card spot? Yeah, something's really got to turn around. If they don't make the playoffs this year, I'm not disappointed. But however, I will say I am. They are moving in the right direction. Fundamentally, the pieces are falling into place for them.
Hockey is the only sport where you make the playoffs as a 1 seed or 8 seed.
You have a chance.
Anything can happen.
Goaltending.
Exactly.
And they got a good one.
Goaltending. Yeah. They got a couple good goaltenders.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
they got 2 good
goaltenders. On that note, we're really pressed up against time for right now and stuff like that. But so what I want to do is I want to say thank you, JP, for joining us today.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. Let's not let it go. Let's not go too long before next time. But
I felt like I had to bless my presence and give the show a little spark.
And you did. So our plan is in a couple weeks. I think we're going to do a
Super Bowl show.
We're going to do an iLogic media show. I think what we're going to do is that it's going to be, I think it's going to be the OC cast, and RiverCity-Media, the 3 R's. I think we're all going to get together. We're going to talk Super Bowl. We're going to talk maybe Super Bowl Sunday. Maybe get on for maybe a half hour, 40 minutes, and
I haven't even that way. I haven't even met the boys from the OC yet, and I love that show, man. That's such a good show. You know what I mean? I feel like we all need to get together at some point. You know what I mean? And I know
Super Bowl
George
Sunday.
was a little inebriated the other night, but maybe a Super Bowl show would be good.
But yeah, no,
yeah.
I mean that's definitely in the works, and we are going to set that up. So, and
Yeah,
you
for
are,
sure.
and you're welcome to be a part of it. So,
Absolutely.
it'd probably be easier for us to have all of us in one spot, and then that way, we can. I mean, we got cameras, we can get it worked
Speakeasy.
out. So, yeah, we'll do that. So,
Mhm.
all right, cool. Well, hey,
Sounds
on that
good.
note, on behalf of Tom and JP and myself, everybody have a good one.
Everybody
Peace.
enjoy the football this weekend. Be safe.
See ya.
Have a good one.